therapists are out there all around the world having these experiences with people living with dementia because it's that powerful.
I have no desire for any particular outcome other than that they be connected to themselves, their bodies, their memories.
You know, there's some people where it's like instantaneously, the connection's there between me and them and the art supply, and we rock and roll, right? And then there's other times where it takes a few sessions for us to connect. The first thing that I often bring to people's homes is I bring circles. So I like to see what people put in the circle. So from that, this person put like 6 dots. It took them 10 minutes to put 6 dots, but each of those dots meant something. Every mark means something in people's work. And then we made something else. The caregiver that was with them was like, this box is great. Like, we're gonna do this with this other project that we did. I felt like there was a huge connection with that circle that just didn't seem like there was much in it. I, as an art therapist, felt it. Like, there's something really, really important right there. Person can't articulate what it is, but they were excited by it. And then the next week happens and the caregiver says, they didn't want the box, they wanted the circle. The person living with dementia was like, that paper is really important to me. That's actually what I got from today, was that paper. And then over time, you know, we figure out what works for that person. And this person who went from making very small marks was making huge lines with acrylic paint. And that's what we did every single time. And it was just an incredible experience to be a witness to someone literally come alive.
Initial idea about Songwriting Works as an organization was to bring the work that I'd started doing as an individual artist to many, many more people and begin training professional songwriters as facilitators. And everybody has music in them, I believe. And we know the power of music for communities and for people, and we know it for people who are living with dementia. One of my favorite stories is there was one man, we had written songs about other kinds of things, and there was a reminiscence about riding on the back of an elephant that someone had, and everyone was kind of like, oh, and so we're like, okay, can you imagine what that's like? We're way up there. And they wrote a beautiful song about that called Way Up in the Air, and it opened this memory of this gentleman to tell his World War II story of serving in the Marines. And he started talking, and we were writing it down verbatim. And it was poetry right out of, you know, he said, on the way over in World War II, I was with my twin brother in the Marines. We went all over Africa, China, Korea, Japan, South Pacific. The war got over. We came back home both alive, at which point someone in the back of the room said, hallelujah. And there were younger family members there because we were explicitly including family members. So this one family said, he keeps saying, I can't believe they put my words up on the wall. And in the end, she wrote to me 6 months after the project and said, we realized by songwriting with our dad that he needed to be reunited with his twin brother who was still alive. And so they had him move back to Ohio so that the twins could be together in the last year of their lives.
I became interested in becoming a dance therapist because I noticed that dance made me feel good. I decided that I wanted to help other people also through dance. And basically, what I do is I offer an array of movement suggestions, props, colors, things that will motivate people to move. And what they respond to, I then play with. I think one of my favorite stories is a woman who was not somebody who benefited from bingo or trivia or games like that. It wasn't that she couldn't speak, but that wasn't where she was living. And one day I had a parasol, and I was twirling the parasol and walking with my parasol and holding it over somebody's head. And then I gave it to her, and she got up and she did what I had done to all the other people in the group. So she spun it over their heads and she danced with them. And that was like such a joy, because people without that, she just sat or walked, but she didn't interact. But giving her that tool gave her the ability to play and to engage with other people, to show what was important to her. And both moving and people were important to her.
Music can connect when someone is losing their other abilities to connect. You know, their communication, verbal communication, their social interaction. The music can still be intact. I wanted to tell you about one individual in particular who, his wife shared with me that he was very passionate about music from like Broadway musicals, because he had actually done some community theater work. She mentioned a song called Old Man River, and she's like, do you know it? I said, yep, I do. And I started to just play the introduction of the song on the piano. He's really just like, you know, not engaged at all, looking down, sitting in the wheelchair. And as soon as he started hearing the beginning, the introduction to the song, I noticed him like kind of raising up, and he started to sing with me. And he was able to get through the whole song. He took that big breath as if he was standing up on stage in the musical about to sing. I mean, and I look over at his wife, and she just, you know, the tears are pouring down. And she told me afterwards that he hadn't spoken for a couple of years. I mean, like anything. And she never imagined that he would still be able to sing. Things like that just are really incredible in terms of their ability to demonstrate the power of music, and to be able to see that, witness that firsthand with individuals living with dementia, and then to have their care partner, their family, to be part of it or to see it, it just brings them hope.
We are a nonprofit, and we are dedicated to nurturing the strengths, hope, and joy and dignity of individuals living with memory loss through creative and spiritually engaging experiences. We do a lot of art observation through a program we call Art Reveals. And through that observation, we get the opportunity to see what art reveals about each individual, their personal interests, histories, memories. For instance, sharing with one client this beautiful painting of a garden. She started talking about how much she loved to garden, and how it gave her such a sense of purpose to garden, and how she actually liked to garden in her bare feet. So that gave us all kinds of hints of, well, we need to get her outside and get her toes in the dirt, because that sensory memory came back just by our, observing a painting of a garden. And then for her, we kind of expanded that, and like I said, follow the thread, and got window boxes and looked at other paintings of gardens and asked her opinions and which flowers she liked the best and what did she want to grow. We'd go on outings to gardens. That was really her, like the thing that brought her to life, based on kind of really what we learned. Find the strengths and follow the threads.